Hello, viewers. Welcome back to my channel, and I hope you all are doing well in your life. And in today's video, our discussion will be based on a short story written by Munshi Premchand, and the short story name is The Shroud. Uh, the literal meaning of the shroud is a piece of cloth which is used to cover up a dead body, and this is a ritual in our India, and especially it is uh, used by Hindu believers. Okay, now let's move on. The Shroud is a short story written by Dhanpat Rai Srivastava. Means Premchand was a pen name of Dhanpat Rai Srivastava, and it was published in 1936, means before the independence of our India. And this was translated from original work in Hindi, that was Kafan. Okay, Kafan means the shroud, means shroud. And we have already discussed that Dhanpat Rai Srivastava is better known by his pen name Premchand. And as we all know, he was an Indian writer who pioneered, who has means achieved milestones in modern Hindustani literature through Hindi and Urdu social fiction. Means through his literary creations, Premchand has tried to depict the deplorable circumstance of Indian society, the problems of Indian society, and how Indians were suffering from different kinds of problems at the time. And through his plethora of literary creations, works, Munshi Premchand has delineated, he has depicted menace of caste hierarchies and the deplorable circumstances of women and laborers in the late 1880s. And Premchand's works like Godan, Godan means to donate a cow, and Karambhumi, Gaban, Man Sarovar, Idga, these all works have enjoyed classic and cult status in our Hindustani literature. Even these all works are appreciated beyond India. And this short story is a poignant tale of poverty and guilt in the Dalits or untouchables society. Means through this work, Premchand has tried to depict the poverty of Dalits, or in other word, we can say that Premchand has also tried to portray the conditions of Indian society when British was ruling our India or our country. And this short story also depicts the wide-ranging themes of hunger, selfishness, ignorance, suffering, tradition, honor, religious hypocrisy, self-importance, laziness, deep-rooted patriarchal mindsets, and all treatments to women. These all things are magnificently woven through uh, through the plot and through various kinds of events and characters by the writer. And this is also a tragedy of Dalit family who belong to Chamar community. Means Chamar community is considered as a lower class among Hindu society. And this story explicates uh, the story of three characters. Number one means we cannot just number it. I will just say the character name. Uh, First was Ghisu, then Madhav and Buria. Now, Ghisu is the father of Madhav, and Buria is the wife of Madhav and daughter-in-law of Ghisu. Both Ghisu and Madhav, they both are uh, father and son, and they do not want to work. They are very uh, lazy people, and they are careless, aimless, and even irresponsible father and son do. And when Buria, uh, Madhav's wife and Ghisu's daughter-in-law, was crying out for help owing to due to labor pain in pregnancy. Both were fighting for food, means they were fighting for potato instead of taking care. And these scenes displays, or this scene shows that how poverty can change our mindset, means how ruthless one can become due to uh, lack of money or lack of hunger. All the good qualities like compassion, sympathy, kindness, these all are gone due to poverty. Okay, as we have already discussed that father and son Dew are careless, aimless, and irresponsible. And when Buria was crying out for help owing to labor pain, both were fighting for food instead of taking care of Buria. And as Buria was groaning in pain, both wanted to get rid of her. So they were saying like this, that why this woman is not dying? She should have died before. Means she is now making noise, making loud noise, and she is means disturbing us. If she dies, we will be uh, got rid of her. That kind of thinking was going on between father and son deal. So that's very pretty horrible, and it's means beyond imagination. And due to pain, uh, Buria actually dies, and they had to no money to take any kind of help from doctor or from any kind of other person. Okay, and if Buria dies, in that way, this both father and son Dew can get away from the responsibilities of her. And they had, we have already discussed that they had no money to cure by any means. And due to their negligence and lack of treatment, the means their own family member is no more. And uh, when Buria was dead, at that time, both father and son cried crocodile tears to display their fake frustration and pain, and to get sympathy and support from the society, and from the landlords, from the merchants, traders, and other villagers. They were able to fetch 5 rupees to buy shroud for Buria. And as we all know, at that time, 5 rupees had a very significant means value at that time in the 1930s. So they have somehow collected 5 rupees to buy shroud for Buria, and they wanted to give her a good farewell. But instead of buying shroud, when they visited the market or the shop, they made up their minds to buy food. like puri sabji like that. And as they were insanely hungry for a long time, means they were completely hungry. They were means starving to eat something, and so that they decided to buy food instead of Shroud. Then they when they had their food, then they thanked her soul, means they thanked Buria's soul for the food and intoxication, because Buria's death has made it possible. Means they were means their brain was so empty, they were so thoughtless, they can't even imagine what is going on. Means they only wanted to fill up their stomach, you know so means they were like two crazy people who are means dying to eat. So if that kind of situation comes to someone's life, then how people will react? That kind of scenario is depicted by the author. And by the the Shroud's money, they have uh, fill up their stomach and they have drunk alcohol, and they were and when some food were left out, then they tried to they try to offer that remaining food to the beggars. Okay. And this also shows a man can be merciless. Sometimes a poor man can be merciless, but not every time. If that man's uh, st- if that man's stomach is full, then it may be possible that same man will treat the other person differently. That's human nature, according to this. By this story, we can make an opinion like that. Okay, so it is this story is a satire on human being whose conscience were dead with selfishness and dire poverty, right? And they had even we have already discussed that they had even gifted remaining food to the beggars, which also shows a man can be merciless only if his stomach is empty. And people's contribution to buy Shroud also proves that people only care if you are dead. If you are alive, if you are crying out for help, then people will not come to help you. But if you are dead, then people think that, or the society think that now it is their responsibility to uh, to give you a proper burial, or to give you a goodbye through their means collective work. And the same thing has been shown here when Buria was dead. At that time, the people of Buria's locality, they tried to give some money to buy Shroud. Okay, that's how means as society is. That's how as society reacts. That's the human nature. Okay. Now, to sum up, we can say that the author has portrayed the mentality of then society. Not only then society, we can also see this kind of circumstance, plight in our today's life, in our day-to-day life. This kind of thing we might have seen, or these kind of things are going on still, somehow, somewhere. We don't know that, but this kind of issue, this kind of problem still exist in our India. So that's so means heartbreaking. Okay. And these all things are shown by the writer, and that's why this piece of work is still relevant in our societies, and why we are reading this story. uh, if you read this story, then only you will know. Okay. Okay. And before ending this discussion, let's talk something about the means story. Okay. So in this story we have got to know that when a person dies, then uh, people will come to help it, means people will come to repent. But if that same person is alive, then people will hesitate to help. People will not come forward to do any kind of collective help. Means sometimes it does, but not every time, or not means uh, anytime, right? And as we all know, when Buria dies, all the people of that locality came to, means they were trying to help these two fathers and due to means by buying shroud to make her funeral. And it also proves that society always try to preserve its culture rather than its individual. this this thing has been perfectly woven by the author through various events and characters in this short short story. So we have got to know that the shroud was not purchased by the father and son, and we do not know whether this shroud was means purchased by any other person besides them, because the story ends here. That's that's how modern short story is all about. Okay. The writer does not want to conclude. Yeah, now it's our reader's duty to means interpret, whether means whatever the way you want to interpret, you do it, means. Okay. And the modern author means they do not want to reach into a particular conclusion. That's it. That's it for today. It's a very moving story. It's a very means actually horrible short story. I think you might have little bit enlightened about this short story, and please try to read the whole story, or you can buy, if you are done, then you can watch the video. Means video means there is a video on the whole short story, means beautifully acted, maybe a serial from Doordarshan. You can watch that. And bye bye. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching the video. I appreciate it.